Well, hello, friends and listeners. Welcome to another episode of today's Conversations on Leadership, powered by Life University. I am your host, Dr. Gilles LaMarche. Honored to have a young lady that I met just a few short weeks ago. And I was telling her before we started recording that the quote that I've picked is a John Maxwell quote, but it's a quote that I picked because of how I felt her when I got to meet her, and in the short, maybe 15-minute or so interaction that we had here at Life University very recently. And the quote is, "Leaders touch a heart before they ask for a hand." And if you ever get an opportunity to meet this lady, you'll know that this truly does represent who she is as a human being. Anne co-founded The Joint in 1999 with the vision of providing the world healing through chiropractic care and love. Again, the quote that I share with you, quite applicable here. What began out of love and a vision to make chiropractic care accessible and affordable to all, The Joint, a chiropractic place, began. The vision took hold and soon spurred the birth of The Joint franchise company and what is now known as The Joint Chiropractic. In 2010, The Joint franchise company was sold to an investment group to further accelerate the growth of the franchises and bring the initial vision into fruition, which in turn has made chiropractic care a part of mainstream life for millions of people. Anne still owns the original The Joint and is one of the top clinics out of more than 600 in the country. The company is on course to meet their goal of 1,000 joints open by 2023. A pretty robust goal considering that they're at 600 and willing to go to 1,000 by 2023. Through adversity and challenge, Anne has always remained true to the original vision and kept the mission simple: to improve quality of life through routine and affordable chiropractic care. So, dear friends, please welcome Miss Anne G. Michaud, married to a great French Canadian. Anne, so great to have you with us today. Thanks for joining us from your beautiful home.
Thank you so much, Gilles. I'm such an honor to be here, and what a kind words you've said about me. Thank you.
So let's get right into this. As I said to you, we do these short, we keep them moving forward, and I know that our listeners gain so much insight from the guests that we have. The world today needs more and better leaders than ever before. So thanks for being willing to come in and talk really about leadership. So the first question I have for you is really around mission, core values, vision. As far as you're concerned, Anne, which is the most important in your organization?
They're all equally as important to each other. When we first began The Joint, it came from a clear, pure vision. And I often will say that if your vision isn't making you nervous and feel like you are sticking right out there on the edges of the skinny branches of a tree, then your vision is not true to what you want to do. And that's exactly what this vision did. It scared the life out of me for a minute. We literally walked into a Starbucks next to the building that we were going to open the first joint, and walked around the Starbucks and looked around and said, "This is what we're going to do with chiropractic care. We're going to take chiropractic care and make it a part of mainstream America to begin." And that just seemed so outrageous at the time. And I can't, and here we are today. I do believe it is a part of mainstream life for many Americans. We still have much further to go, but it's definitely on course. The mission has always been to provide quality care at affordable, convenient way for people to come in. And it's to improve the quality of life. I was so moved when these venture capitalists came in and purchased our company that they kept the mission the same as the one we stated in the late 90s. And it's on the wall of every joint that you go in. So we want everyone, the staff, the patients, to always know what this mission is. Core values, it's who we are as a company. At one point, Peter Holt, our CEO, had come on, and he knew that we had this strong mission statement, but what he could not find was in words what our vision was and what our core beliefs were. So he called us in, a couple of the leaders of the company, to Scottsdale, Arizona, and we sat in a brainstorm session on, what are the core values? What is the vision in words, not just in a feeling? And we came up with that. And I love that he did that. And he had these little cards made for us to carry around, that we can keep these in mind, that we can give to our staff, that just, to remind us of what we're there for. And what I love so much about this company is that we're making such an impact in the world. We are, we're changing people's lives through chiropractic care. Changing people's lives who work for us, the patients that come into our clinics, chiropractors all over the world. It's changing the dynamic of chiropractic care.
Can you share the message on that card? Because I know that the mission is to improve quality of life through routine and affordable chiropractic care. What else is on that little card that you carry with you as a reminder?
So the vision, as I spoke, being in that Starbucks that day and seeing it that way, this is how it became when we came together as a group. The Joint will be the premier provider of chiropractic care. So that was what the vision was, that Peter Holt and the group that we came together was. And for me, it's really the core values: trust, integrity, excellence, respect, and accountability. And, we went through a lot of different ideas of what it really meant to us. And those were the core values that we had. So
powerful values. And obviously you've been able to build the company from that first step forward.
Right.
Back in, like you said, the late 90s, correct?
Correct.
20 years. Congratulations for that. My next question would be, who helped Anne become the leader that Anne became? Like, who's the one person maybe that's had a major impact, or a number of people who maybe have had an impact on you that actually led you to become the leader that you became?
If I go back to the late 1989, 1990, I was working as the head concierge in a hotel in Atlanta called the Swiss Hotel at the time. And our general manager was just exceptional. He treated the staff at that hotel the way he wanted us to treat the guests of the hotel. He gave us so much respect, kindness. He trusted us. He gave us huge responsibilities that I had worked in other hotels where they just treated us like, you'll be here today and somewhere else tomorrow. And this gentleman, he valued us, each of us, and he was so kind. And I just always thought that is the person that if I ever had the opportunity to lead or to have employees, that's who I would want to be. And so I feel where I come from. I also, at some point in my life, I was in a leadership type course, and we were asked to come up with a statement to say who you are in the world. And actually, this goes back to prior to the Joint being formed. And I was with my former spouse. We were at a seminar, and I got up and said, who I am in the world is love. And the seminar leader said, that's too vague. You need to come up with something else. And I said, but it really is. It's my container. It's what I filter everything through. And I can't remember if I ever came up with better words for him, but that's what's always stuck with me. And Fred actually got up and said, who I am is a subluxation-free universe. And the leader said,
typical chiropractor, right?
He said, I don't even know what a subluxation is. He said, you've got to bring this down to reality. But so that's where the Joint really began. It began out of this container of love that held this vision of a subluxation-free universe. So going back to the question of people who've inspired me, there was a point to that one, but where it takes me to is now our CEO of our company reminds me so much of that first general manager that I worked for. He leads with kindness and respect and openness. I think to be a good leader, you have to be open to the people around you and growth. And one of the things that I always remind myself of is I'm not necessarily here to inspire other people as much as I am to be inspired. Because if I allow you to inspire me, I feel you've been seen and I've been seen. And I believe, ever really want to do anyway in the world is to touch each other and to inspire one another. And it allows people around me, I feel, to come to their greatest self, and it allows me to grow and learn. There's so much for me to learn from everyone that walks in my life. So, when I think about leaders, I think that leaders are the people that work for me. They're my children, they're my husband, they're my friends. So it's kind of for me, there's not like a leader and then the followers. There's just a give and take. And then to get the vision, when you're on board for the same vision and mission, it kind of comes naturally.
I think we developed what I call the art of reciprocity, don't we? In that state.
Yeah.
The love concept is something that I was introduced to about 45 years ago. Mm-hmm. And my mentor used the statement, loving service, my first technique. He said, when you make loving service your first technique, that's powerful.
Yeah.
And that is valuable. And that is a way to actually think and serve others around you. And therefore, as we serve, we get served. So there's a reciprocity in that art. As you so well said, leadership is not from above down. It's really, it's transactional, isn't it? I mean, it goes across a plane of individuals. I'm not sure if I had an opportunity to give you a gratitude stone or not. Did I?
No.
I probably had none left that night then. So a lot of our listeners know that I usually carry at least a handful of heart-shaped stones in my pocket of all sorts of colors. So the next time we meet, I'll make sure I have one in my pocket for you. I typically have, like I said, a handful. Today I've got the one that I have in my pocket, but I'm in my office here at Life University today, so I've got a jar full on my
that's
desk.
So beautiful.
And so what you bring, in the typical world of maybe Fortune 100 companies, we may not hear that love attribute as the most important of attributes. But what I've heard you say is that in your life, that has been the most important attribute to develop your leadership skills and build what you have built.
Mm-hmm. And quite frankly, having a container that holds love, if something enters it that does not fit in that container, I don't have to push it out. It naturally moves out.
Yes, I'm with. Yeah, we're talking. We're cut from the same cloth as we thought we were when we first met.
Yes.
There's no doubt about it. So thank you for sharing that. That's great. That's great insight. Like I said, because in the corporate, in the top 100 or Fortune 100 companies, Fortune 500 companies, and I remember myself the first time I heard that. Learn to love your patients, learn to love your staff. I thought that was weird at first, until I discovered how powerful it was, and it became really my top core value. And my top core value fits right there because my personal purpose statement is I pledge my life to my greatest expression of love and service for the benefit of humanity. So not unlike Miss Anne Michaud right here. So thanks for that insight. My last question for you today was, what's the one characteristic that you believe, other than love now, because we've talked about that, what's the one characteristic that you believe that every leader must possess?
I would say integrity. For me, integrity, it encapsulates love, it encapsulates trust and loyalty. I need the people around me to know that they can trust me and count on me to keep my word. And I expect the same from them. So integrity all around the board for me is the number one.
And I agree with you again. So when you come from a space in the leadership world, when you come from a space of love and integrity, it's almost like you can do no wrong, right? Because you elevate people to get to the level where they actually belong, where they feel comfortable. And at the same time, they're allowed to stretch because they know that you're treating them with integrity and you're going to love on them no matter what.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Yes, I agree with you.
You quickly learn when you work for me that nobody in my clinic gets in trouble, so to speak. It's so normal for people to come into the work world and treat the person they're working for as a parent or a hierarchy, like they could do something that could get them in trouble. So I quickly try to get that out of the conversation. We make mistakes. I make a lot every day. And so I expect them to make mistakes, and I say, let's celebrate them, and let's oh, good, we figured out that doesn't work, so let's do something different. So yeah, that's real important to me that people feel that they are in a place where they are safe and they can make mistakes.
Well, you've shared some great insights with the listeners. Any closing comments from you, Anne?
I just feel like I've learned so much today from you. And I may have to borrow a few things like handing out gifts of hearts and such.
You can borrow it, and I can tell you exactly how you can get them if you like. So I say there's very, very few new ideas in the world. There are just ways that we repackage them. And one of the reasons why we host today's conversations on leadership is exactly that, is to share insights with people, because a rising tide rises all boats. So if we can help each other, support each other, learn from each other, we all become a better version of ourselves, and collectively we become a better humanity. And God knows we need that level of service for humanity today, maybe more than ever before.
Absolutely. Yes.
So closing comment from you, Anne?
Just thank you so much for having me here. I really feel so honored to be included in this conversation.
Well, that is a two-way street honor as well. So I'm honored that you accepted our invitation, that you've taken time from your busy schedule to be with us. So ladies and gentlemen, you heard this from Ms. Anne Michaud, co-founder of The Joint, living here south of Atlanta, and very supportive of the chiropractic profession. She is not a chiropractor, was married to a chiropractor, got the big idea, and we now see the results of that big idea put to fruition. So keep your feet to the fire, keep your foot on the gas pedal, and keep moving forward and become the leader that you are destined to become. Thanks for joining us, Anne.
Thank you so much.